You gotta uncheck all the ones you don't want.
I don't know.
It's a tweaking.
Unless you have specific legal questions, I don't deal with them.
All right, on that note. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Notice of this meeting was properly posted on Friday, September 8th, 2017. Item number 3, discussion of possible action to approve the minutes from the special meeting on August 3rd and the regular meeting on August 12th.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to revise the minutes of the meeting of August 12th to show that I was in attendance.
Do we have video to prove that?
Well, now on the, I guess it was on the 4th item after the minutes that I seconded an item, so.
Are you sure?
I think it was. I may have gave Danny my proxy, I can't recall.
I think I might have put the wrong date on there. Do you mean that, I've got two, I've got August 3rd and August 8th. Which are you looking at?
Well, I was just looking at the agenda item number 3, it says August 12th.
I know, but I'm saying, did you actually look at the,
Yeah, I looked whatever was linked.
whatever was
Yeah,
attached?
yeah.
And it doesn't show you, so I need to add it? Okay,
Right.
I can do that.
Do we need to change it
I
to
guess
August 12th or August 8th?
Probably.
Yeah, that was,
Sorry, I don't know why that says that.
yeah, if you look up there, it says August 8th instead of August 12th. So I didn't know if that was just the wrong
I think I just missed the time.
meeting that was linked.
Yeah. Well, it's
The 8th.
the 8th.
I wasn't here on Saturday.
You weren't? See, remember, it was just you and me that showed up.
Why are there minutes? There should be no
But
business.
we didn't have a quorum, though.
Our imaginary friend served as
They
well.
help. Awesome.
Which one is supposed to be correct?
It should have been the 8th. There was
So our
no-
agenda item is incorrect.
Right.
Okay, then we can't take action on the 8 minutes because the public doesn't have notice that that's what's being discussed.
Okay. Well, we'll just put it on next time then.
Would that not be a typographical?
I mean, it's
It's
a
attached.
thing.
It's attached though,
But the agenda item is what controls.
But
Right, but
Scrivener's error.
there was no August 12th.
I get it.
No.
Well,
Can
they
it
don't
not-
know that. And then neither is the public gonna know that.
So that would not just be a Scrivener's error on the date?
I mean, I get that it is a Scrivener's error, but it is not one that can just be
Okay.
corrected.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so we can take action on the August the 3rd, and then we can take action on the August the 8th at our next meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of August 3rd.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Kelly, on the August the 8th, can you notate Mr. Satterwhite's attendance? All right, item number 4, discussion of possible action to receive an update on employee benefits. We've got the employee benefits director here to answer any questions.
Before he starts, I'll just give you a quick update on the weekly plans comparison to last year. Medical's down $272,000 through the week, next week's plans, and prescriptions are down $384,000 compared to the same number of weeks last year.
So I'm passing out 2 reports to look at. One kind of looks like this and gives some of Danny's numbers, and the other one's a direct report from CVS. And
There we go.
so really, once you get one of those, I'll go over to the one that's highlighted first, and that's really the most important one. Prescriptions are trending at 28% down compared to where they were last fiscal year, but really medical's trending down 8%. But if you look at the highlighted portions, those are weeks coming up last fiscal year that we had huge claim weeks. So those are the weeks we're trying to avoid going forward. We've been doing really well. And again, the new network's going to start repricing claims really, and those claims will start coming in soon. So if we can avoid some of those big weeks coming up in the next couple of months, we should be doing really well. We're already doing a lot better than the last fiscal year. Now, to speak on prescriptions, I had CVS look at, since our new prescription benefit started in July, last fiscal year, we paid a lot of claims that were incurred before July. So we were paying a lot of run-out claims, so I wanted to compare apples to apples. So I asked them, hey, give me the numbers from last fiscal year, July and August, and this fiscal year, July and August, so we can actually look and see true comparison of what's going on. And the good news is, and this is turning out 2 months, for about 18.6 or 18.9, I'll say 19% under where we were last fiscal year. We're comparing exact same week. So the county's paying 19% less for the same drugs, same basic utilization, and then members are paying about 14% less out of their pocket. So, again, no plan changes, but we're saving about 19% on the county's end. And we don't expect that to change. We expect that to keep going on over this fiscal year compared to last fiscal year.
Can we go back to Danny's numbers for a second? So on the medical there, the 384,000 amount that's less.
That's prescription.
Right. Is that taking into account the run out that we had last year?
Yeah.
Okay, so part of that 384 is, we need to consider that.
Because there were claims in there that were incurred last fiscal year. So we paid about $500,000 or $600,000 of what was incurred last fiscal year, this fiscal year. So it takes into account those prior incurred claims. If that makes sense.
Well, last fiscal year, 16-17, at the very beginning, we paid out, for some reason, I'm thinking $500 and something thousand dollars.
Yeah, some of that amount. And then if you look over here, this fiscal year, some of those 2 weeks had claims incurred from last fiscal year as well. So it's kind of a mixed bag. You know, last fiscal year, we had claims incurred prior period, and then we had some run out here coming this year as well.
Our comparison, yes, it has the numbers from 2 previous fiscal years ago for last fiscal year, but this fiscal year has numbers from last fiscal year. So really the true way to determine is what you did.
What I did with CVS. And we're looking about like a true apples-to-apples comparison when we're looking at this fiscal year versus last fiscal year incurred about over $200,000 in savings, which is about 19%. But when you take in the overall picture of the run out, you know, we're about 28% under where we were last fiscal year. So, I mean, it's all positive. This isn't going to change. Prescription percentage is not going to change. It's just going to project out about an 18% savings.
And on the medical side, those numbers, correct me if I'm wrong, those should continue to get even better as we have more utilization on the new system, because a lot of the claims that are probably still coming in are coming in off of the old
prior
network.
Fiscal year. Correct. Yeah. Correct. So claims incurred prior to July 1st, it takes about 30 to 60 days, 90 days to get those in and get them paid. So hopefully when we get down here, if you scroll down, and you can see it on your handout, we get down into October and November, you'll see we had some really high months. That's when we really should be receiving the claims that are incurred after July 1st and paying those. So we'll get to see how the new network discounts are playing out. And again, those should be about 20% less than what we were paying before at a minimum. So.
Everything being equal.
Yeah, everything being equal. And to tell you the truth, this fiscal year, we haven't seen that many large claim notifications. Last year, every week, large claim, big claim. We haven't had those big claimants ramp up yet. And that's really where we saw some of those cost increases. We were capturing all those claims before they met their specific deductible, that $250,000 level. But this year we haven't seen that. So it'll really be the true picture. Those highlighted weeks, what we get in for those weeks, that'll be really the true comparison to see how everything's working. But so far, so good. Any questions?
I heard somebody try to explain the total savings that we've made in changes in our healthcare thing. I sent you an email about that.
Yeah.
Is there a good number to use?
There is, and it's well over $2 million. And I've requested that from vendors, so I just don't pull it out of the air. But you know, every time somebody goes to the heart hospital under our direct agreement versus going under a PPO network, we're saving, you know, $40,000 on some big surgeries. So same thing with McBride, cancer treatment, we're doing dialysis, but I'm gonna get a report from each vendor, and I've requested that to show the really true savings. But if we had not had those last fiscal year, we'd be in way worse of shape, so, because every time somebody goes to one of those preferred vendors, we're saving money.
And not only are we saving money, our employees are saving money as well, so.
Correct, yeah.
Something to consider.
Huge amount. And on this prescription thing, I thought that was a really good indicator that employees are actually, and retirees are actually saving 14% every time they go to the pharmacy, and they've had no benefits cut.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to receive the report?
So moved.
Motion, is there a second? There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Item number 5, discussion of possible action to place on the BET watch list funding for raises for purchasing department employees in the amount of $8,698.
Butch put this on here, one, he totally supports it, and two, I think Jane came to Butch, which he was glad that she did, but mainly because he, does her time and stuff and kind of reports to her, but I know he's in full support of it. It's just really hard when you have a department with good people that hasn't had a raise for 5 years. Where Jane stands out probably with facilities management and engineering, there's no other sources of funds. It's just general fund only. So Jane's here to answer any questions or explain what's been going on to get to this point.
Thank you. Yeah, as Christy mentioned, we haven't had any raises since 2012, and at that time, that was the general raise that was given across the board to all the departments. So we really haven't had anything outside of that since about '09. This gives you a little bit of description. The problem that I'm running into now is a lot of the other departments have more revenue, and they're being able to pay their people more. So now I lost a person last week to another department because we don't have any revenue funds or any other way to draw the money to give any raises. So that's my hottest issue right now, is I'm down one person because of that, and I won't take offense to anybody in the court clerk's office, but anyway.
For the record, to be fair, we considered that not a lateral move. We considered that a promotion for her, so it's not like she was moving laterally and being paid more.
Okay. Either way. But, we continue to do our usual procurement jobs day after day. But over the last 3 years with Munis coming in, we've almost become the Munis go-to in a lot of respects. We spend a good part of our time, Amanda, I know, and Linda did at the time, at least half of their day just answering questions and dealing with different issues with Munis. So it's, being shorthanded, it's a little bit hard to continue to do your job and to take care of all the other issues. I just mentioned some other things here that we do routinely and things that people don't think about. And then we've been generating anywhere from 5,000, actually closer to 10,000 in rebates from vendors that obviously go into the general fund. But right now, if I have vendors that want copies of contracts or anything that we do, of course they have to pay for them, but we can't even keep that money, even though it's our money that we have to use to buy the paper, pay for the machines and so forth. That money goes into general fund. So that's other money that we have out of our pocket. So any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
How many employees do you have?
There's just 4 of us.
3 now?
Yes.
All right.
Jane, if you'll explain, I think the one that's vacant, that's going to the court clerk's office, is moving at the end of the month, but you're in the middle of interviewing and hoping to hire before she...
Yes, I hope to, yes. We already have 3 people that we're interviewing this afternoon, and some of these people are ready to move right away, so I want to get someone in place just as quickly as I can. So that's the vacant position that was vacant as of this past Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, Monday was the first day. Gotcha.
Any questions? Thank you for your time.
Jane,
Yes.
just real quick, and first I'll say that I'm supportive of you guys getting a pay increase. I know that it's been a while since you guys have received additional money, and I do appreciate all the things that you do. But I would like to make the general statement, you know, while we're on this, that your department's not alone in this, that doesn't receive special funds, that generates money for the general fund via expenses that they incur, but they don't get that money back. I mean, they do, but not immediately. It's you know, the next fiscal year when they get their budget. But, you know, we really need to look at not just purchasing. I mean, we've got several departments that are in a similar situation, and we need to keep that in mind.
Yes. I would definitely second that, and I know Christie and I have had some discussions about that as well. And I've even had some with some of the other department heads.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion on item number 5, to place on the DET watch list the funding for raises in the amount of $8,698.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second to place this item on the BET watch list. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 6, discussion of possible action to recommend to Oklahoma County Budget Board to approve a transfer from general fund reserve in the amount of $86.98 to Oklahoma County Purchasing Department in order to fund the costs associated with salary increases in the salary and benefit accounts.
And I will make a motion on item 6, to recommend moving money from the general fund reserve in the amount of $8,698 for purchasing departments for raises.
Second.
Now, generally, we've had the requirement that that additional document be filled out if there's going to be a recommendation. I understand this is a little bit different because they are not represented on the board. Yes.
Okay.
They are. But, I mean, I think it's clear by this document that they don't have the funds. That's the reason why they need the increase. I mean, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
I definitely understand the need. I know a lot of the departments haven't had raises, and some rely on special revenue funds to give those raises, and some are strictly general fund funded. So Jan, I definitely feel your position there. And, I mean, there's a lot of departments that are there. We're one of those. Our staff is definitely well below the regional average as far as pay goes. We lose employees all the time as a result of the pay, at least being one of the reasons. So I definitely feel where you're coming from. I would just like to see us address the county and as a whole as opposed to individual departments, so certain departments don't get left out of that opportunity.
Okay, is there any other discussion?
Did you put in any money in your budget request?
She
Was
did, we
it
took
took
out
out?
all the raises.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a motion and a second on the table. Is there any other discussion? Okay, seeing none. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed?
No.
No. Motion passes. Item number 7, discussion of possible action to place on the BET watch list funding in the amount of $40,000 for the 8th floor demolition project in the courthouse for the chambers that Judge Ogden is moving to.
Well, this item was discussed a little bit yesterday in infrastructure. and the infrastructure committee decided to put this on a list because for those of you who didn't attend the infrastructure meeting, I think the list of TIP projects as well as other capital projects goes out to 2021, I believe. And while worthy of, I think it has merit that Judge Ogden's making this request, my whole point of putting it on infrastructure and then bringing it to BET was at least to get a list going for future projects, and if the budget board were to make a decision eventually about this, or us, that it exists, whether it's funding for this year or 2021 or whatever, I just believe it's important to put it on the list. So, item 7 is specific as to putting it on the watch list, so I would move the item.
I'll second.
And just to be clear, there's a member from the infrastructure committee in here today, but the list that it was put on was to be considered in 2020, 2021. So it's on a list that's way beyond this fiscal year. So, anyway.
That was their recommendation to the commissioners.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Wait, so I'm clear, is the infrastructure, they're recommending that it not be done until 2021?
Correct.
Well, we're recommending that it not be done until TIP 2 and TIP 8 are completed.
Gotcha.
We just
Whatever they
anticipating 2020 or 2021.
Currently, the schedule shows 2021.
Right, with all the projects that are going on right now, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
It would, unless we were to hire an outside crew and have them do this independent, it would cause some of the items on the current TIP 2, TIP 8, is that what they are now?
Correct.
To move further down the road. If we did it internally. If we did it externally, it could get done and not affect some of our current projects.
Well, that was discussed yesterday, and my recollection was that even if it was completely outside source, there were still going to be multiple facets that would have to be internal.
Sure.
And there was no way to get around that according to the facilities director, and I think that was one of the reasons why it was pushed down, electrical work and different things. So and I say that, I mean, if somebody, there's a motion and a second, I've said before, I'm 100% in favor of anything that an elected official wants on the BET watch list, I think should go on there. So I'm just adding the discussion for those that weren't in the meeting yesterday. There's a motion and a second on the table to add $40,000 to the BET watch list for the 8th floor demolition project in the courthouse. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 8, discussion of possible action to recommend to the Oklahoma County Budget Board to approve a transfer from General Fund Reserve 985 in the amount of $40,000 for the 8th floor demolition project in the courthouse for the chambers that Judge Ogden is moving to.
Honestly, I didn't know that this would be part of the agenda. My goal today was to get it on the watch list, so I would not push this at this point unless there is something that the budget board wanted to do outside of this board, so I would need to strike.
Got a motion to strike? Second?
Second.
Motion and second to strike item number 8. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion is stricken. Item number 9, discussion of possible action to recommend placing on the BET watch list funding in the amount of $803,376 for the Sheriff's General Fund 500. This is the amount that BET recommended for the budget. John?
This is just the amount that was previously recommended by this committee to Budget Board, and PD was approached and asked to place it back on the watch list and bring it before Budget Board. So this item is to add that amount to the BET watch list. So I would make a motion, $803,376 to the BET watch list for the amount that was previously recommended by the BET for this fiscal year's budget.
Second.
We've got a motion and multiple seconds. Is there any further discussion?
For what? What's the $803,000?
It was already explained during the BET's long budget process. I didn't bring that information with me today. I'd be more than happy to go across it again when it's asked to be made a recommendation to the budget board.
Okay.
But nothing has changed from the request at that time, but it's something that we're 3 months into the fiscal year, so I'm sure there'll be some things we can look at and assess and bring back to you all. And give some updates, some transparency.
Any further discussion? All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Item number 10, discussion and possible action regarding the supplemental appropriation, amending the Oklahoma County General Fund budget for fiscal year 17-18. The total budget supplement amount of $2,646,137. Danny?
All right, I'll go over briefly how we got to that number. This is the projected revenue for our fiscal year 17-18 budget. This is the column that we approved for the adopted budget. Once we close out the year, we get the certified taxes, and then we project out based on the actuals that we collected through June. So that number changes a little bit. Not a whole lot of change in the revenue column. Property taxes came in pretty close to what we had estimated back in April. All the other categories are either 90% or just revised a little bit. So total revenue is up over $177,000 over what we originally budgeted. The big change is the fund balance, increase of $2,468,377. The increase of revenue, the increase in the fund balance gives us our total increase of $2,646,000. It's almost a 3% increase over our adopted budget. A little bit explanation as to the bigger fund balance. Revenue came in approximately $2 million higher than what was estimated. I think I've got another worksheet here. Hold on just a second. Find it. All right, so this first column is what we projected. The second column is what we projected. This is the actual revenue through 16-17. That was the amount that I showed you a while ago. So total revenue over and above $2 million. The biggest change, we collected $637,000 more than we had estimated back in April, with bigger collection than anticipated. This miscellaneous property tax, the bulk of that is the treasurer's resale. Came in at $1,440,000. We didn't put that in our estimates back in April when we came up with this number here. So bigger property tax collections, the $1.4 million from resale, and then primarily make up that $2 million difference there on the revenue side. So revenue came in a little bit higher than anticipated. And then the rest of it is our estimated lapse funds. We had estimated we'd lapse about this amount. The actual amount is going to be about $3.4 million. That's a $416,000 increase. The bulk of that is the reserve. We didn't end up using as much of the reserve as we had anticipated. The amount that we did not use, that we had flagged that we would possibly use through June, was the jail temporary kitchen and the inmate cap. So those dollars lapsed out of reserve, so we lapsed a little bit more than we had anticipated there. So all in all, those numbers make up the $2,646,000. By statute, we have to fund these auditors at 1/10 of a mil. So we will have to increase their budget by $25,201. So the total available will be the $2,629,035.
2,006,000 what?
2935.
2,629,35, once we find the state auditors.
Wait a minute, that's not what's on the agenda.
Right, the total supplement is 2,646,135.
Mhm. Is there any further discussion? Is there a motion to receive Danny's report?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, item number 11, discussion of possible action to make a recommendation to the Oklahoma County Budget Board from the Budget Evaluation Team regarding the fiscal year 17-18 supplemental appropriation. Danny, I would assume that any recommendation would need to include the $25,201 for the county audit.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I move the item.
Second.
What are we
We gotta make
moving?
a recommendation.
Yeah, the 25,000, we got that, but what are we?
Moving item number 11, discussion of possible action to make a recommendation to the Oklahoma County Budget Board from the Budget Evaluation Team and to also include the amount that we give to the auditors, the $25,000.
Correct. We have to make a recommendation where we're going to put that.
Put the 2.6 million. We got 25,201 that we need to give to the, to move over for the county audit. That leaves $2,620,935 that we need to make a recommendation on.
Okay, I'll revise my motion to recommend that $2,620,935 be recommended to the Budget Board to add to the budget.
To the reserve. To the.
Do you want it to go to reserve or somewhere else? To reserve?
Reserve would be nice.
Okay.
Can I make one thing? When you add those two numbers together,
It should come up to 2646,137.
it's 136. You do 25, 201.
So there's a rounding.
Yeah.
Rounding.
Just wherever Dean, which way you wanna go.
Yeah, I would say 25,201 in audit, then the remainder, which would be 936 into reserve.
So it'd be 936.
Okay, so we've got a motion to make a recommendation to the Budget Board to put $2,620,936 from the supplemental appropriation into the general fund reserve account, and then to allocate the $25,201 to the county audit.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 12, discussion of possible action regarding any item currently on the DBT watch list. No action. Item 13, any new business? Seeing none. Item 14, citizen participation. Seeing none. Board comments. District 3?
None.
Treasurer's Office. District 2?
Yeah, I would just like to, obviously yesterday was September 11th when we had the terrible terrorist attack, and I just, all my prayers go out to all the people who's affected, which were many, many people.
Clerk's Office. Assessor?
We're gonna be doing a little chili thing on Friday to raise some money for the hurricane victims, and encourage everybody, we're gonna be providing chili and other things, and if you come by and make a donation, we appreciate it. We're gonna send some money their way. No problem.
Do you need any judges to judge the children?
I think that the chili will be $9 non-per real, so you have to have judges in.
And we did an excellent job.
I thought so.
I didn't call back though, have
There were
you?
some allegations made, I don't want to bring it up in a public meeting.
Well, you just didn't give them that sample, I mean.
Yeah, no kidding. Court clerk, sheriff, district one has done. Item 16, we have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I will say that
See you later.
that's good spread when they do something like that.
We try to.